any of the music?
Jamie had me using music, but I never got into it myself. Hey,
No
hey,
worries.
everybody. We are live this evening. It is live at 5. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a little bit of a break for me. Y'all know I was not live last week because I was vacationing in the Caribbean. Yes, I was. Yes, I
Right.
was. I was enjoying Mexico. And I have come back. Interestingly enough, I've come back, and everywhere I am, people hand me something, and I'm like, gracias. And I'm like, okay, you are not. What are you doing? You, what are you doing? This is not the way it's supposed to go. You are like at home now. Thank you. Thank you. This is how it goes. All right. So I'm glad I'm glad that we're here. Let me give the platforms a chance to tell everybody that we're here. Give the platforms a chance to tell the world that I'm live and that we're here so they can let other people know. Let all the people know. Y'all pass the word. Tell the folks that we're live. Y'all see, I got company today. I got family and friends. These are my family and these are my friends. I know these are my brothers from other mothers. They don't look like me, but that doesn't mean we're not related. All right. Don't be like, those can't be her brothers because they don't look like her. But these are my brothers. All right. These are my PeakBot brothers. All right. This is Ben and Dylan. These are my people, right? These are my PeakBot people. Y'all know I do PeakBot. I always tell the folks um that I rock with PeakBot, and I rock with
Yeah.
PeakBot because number one, you all are very transparent. I know that you're gonna tell the people what they need to know. There we go, all the light we need. You're gonna tell the people, you're not gonna hold back and gatekeep. I appreciate that because that's the way I do. When people are like, you tell us when you lose and when you win. Yeah, because losses come with this. And any trader who tells you they don't ever lose, first of all, they lying. And
Yeah.
if a trader tells you they don't have a mentor, you need to go find you another person to follow because every trader ought to have somebody else that they're learning from because this game is a continual learning journey. Believe me, you should be ever evolving and ever learning in this space because if you know it all, your name must be Jesus, and that ain't Jesus. It needs to be Jesus, right? So, but these are my dudes because my dudes, peak by. I say I influence for y'all, and I influence because I use this product. I don't just get on here and make videos. People like, come on and let's do this product, and they don't have not one account. And that's not
Yeah, no
me.
good.
I use PeakBot. You know, I'm saying I use PeakBot every week, win or lose, because sometimes my IWM trades go into the tank. But I'm like, hey, next week, put me
Does
back
happen.
on, coach, put me back in. That has happened, but I'm still here. I still let you all do my automating because I be doing other stuff. All right. All right.
Right, we're busy.
Yes, everybody's busy. Everybody's busy. All right, y'all. So now I'm gonna let Dylan and Ben do some talking, and I'm gonna quit because now I think we've had enough time for the platforms to tell people that we're here. But PeakBot made an upgrade to the trend spread bot, and we've talked about the trend spread bot a lot. It's basically, our credit spreads, the same credit spreads that we do in our community all the time. And that list I put out every week, those are credit spreads. But they have a bot. PeakBot has a bot, and it's been in operation for a while. They've made some updates and upgrades to it. And I am like super excited about these upgrades and updates. And I'm gonna let them talk about it, and let them talk about what changes they made. I know this is, to me, it's like a monumental change. I know for my members and those who follow me, I think this is going to be like the thing. And I'm not even like selling it. Some people like sell stuff like you ought to, this is the next best thing. I'm not even saying it for that reason. I'm saying it because I really think, like for me, I went where before I had IWM, I was rinsing and repeating one stock, but I went on Friday at the airport, by the way, and picked like 6 stocks and was like, put me in, coach. So
There you go.
I'm letting you know that not only am I talking about this, but I'm putting my money attached to it. That's right.
I
I'm
love
putting
it.
my money into. All right. So Dylan and Ben, whichever one of you all are going to talk, you have the floor. Okay.
I'll get us started, and then I will quickly hand it over to Ben. Arlissa, thanks for having us. You are family, you are friends, and very excited to talk through the updates to our automated strategies. Now, of course, for those of you who aren't familiar, As Alyssa mentioned, we are fully transparent. We are an automated trading platform. You guys can head over to peakbot.com/E2T to sign up and get more information, okay? But if you just wanted information on all of our bots, including the trend spread strategy, just head on over to our website. Updates today. Let's paint the picture here a little bit. So we love our trend spread bot, and I can even share screen. I think it might be helpful just to kind of give a very high level overview of what the strategy is doing and why we like it and what improvements were made. So, Alyssa, I added my screen into the backstage. I'm not sure if you're able to share it. If you are, great. If not, I'm happy to just talk through this. So, the trend spread strategy is a fully directional credit spread strategy. So it's 7 DTE trading Friday to Friday. We have a watch list, which was previously a lot larger. And let me just mention before I forget, Alyssa was part of the solution here and the reason behind this upgrade. And it was how she was trading off of our watch list. So long story short, there was at one time probably 100 to 200 different opportunities you can select from our trend spread watch list, which is great, but also overwhelming. And there are some, although quality plays, highly volatile ones in a volatile market. So it can be a little tricky. What we do is the bot trades with the trend. So for example, if on our watch list, the bot is trending bullish, okay, based off of the 3-month EMA, etc. Okay, Ben, it looks like we have maybe Ben's screen up here, or maybe Alyssa's. I'm not totally sure.
I think I'm getting the right one.
Okay, no worries. Mine's in the background. Let me know if you have trouble with it. I'll keep on rolling here. So if our watch list sees the stock as bullish, it's going to sell a bullish put credit spread. If the watch list sees it as bearish, it'll trade with the trend and sell a bearish call credit spread. Here we go. All right. So as I was saying, 7 DTE strategy trades with the trend. If it's bullish, it's going to sell a put spread. Bearish, it's going to sell a call spread. And if it's neutral trending, okay, or range bound, it'll trade a 7 DTE iron condor. Okay, so again, 7 DTE Friday to Friday. The bot opens positions at 12 p.m. Eastern. Ben, correct me quickly. Did we move? We didn't move the time of entry. That's still noon.
Nope.
Okay.
Still noon.
Still noon. If the bot doesn't get you in right away, there are additional opportunities later Friday as well as Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so for those of you who are going to try this over the weekend, of course, the market is closed tomorrow, but you can still get in 3 DTE trend spread on Tuesday. Okay, so we'll talk through the updates, but I just wanted you guys to get an idea of exactly what's going on here. Now, the first update we're going to see here. This bot used to sell the closest to the 30 delta and buy the 10, okay? Still gives you a high probability of profit, but what we found happened was that 30-10 spread sometimes was getting a little wide. A lot of cash needed to enter some of these. You know, even if they were $1 spreads, you were getting like a $4, $5, or $6 spread for a decent chunk of premium. But in 7 days in this volatile market, that midweek trend reversal that we, have nightmares about found itself to be happening more often than not. So what we wanted to do was play a little defense. What did we do? We lowered the delta. So now we're not trying to grab closest to the 30 delta. We're grabbing closest to the 22. That gives us a higher probability of profit. Okay, more breathing room, essentially, more buffer, which we'll see on the watch list here in a second. Ben, how about I hand it over to you to explain the second major update, and then we can talk about the trimmed watch list, but how we've tightened the spreads as much as we can.
So if you've been selling options for a while, or even if you're a beginner, you'll notice that different tickers have different distances between strike prices. It could range anywhere from 50 cents for the low dollar value companies, low dollar value symbols, all the way up to, call it $10 for these higher value. I know like Costco, for example, is trading around $1,000. Their strike prices are set at about $10 apart. So the big update we've made here, and again, going along with, as Dylan was mentioning, the budget could get a little out of control if you're always selling the 30 delta, buying the 10 delta. This is going to give you a fixed budget. You know how much cash you're putting in every single week. And we're only trading a one spread difference or one strike difference here. So on lower dollar values, you're going to get a 50-cent spread. That means the dollars at risk are just 50 cents or $50 because one contract is 100 shares. So you take that 50 cents, multiply it by 100. So you've got $50 at risk less the amount of premium that you're earning. And we're going to show the watch list in just a second here. You can see there's been an update to that watch list as well. But again, the big change here is the update to the spread width, right? So it's either going to be 50 cents, $1, $2.50, $5, or $10. And that depends, again, just on what's available for a particular ticker. Like I know ticker GLD has strikes every dollar. If you look at, I think it's McDonald's, love McDonald's, ticker MCD, there's strikes every $2.50. A $5 SPX, you've got $5, $5 between strike prices. And then, like I mentioned, Costco's $10 between strike prices. So again, this is just going to sell one strike and then buy the strike that's one strike further out of the money. And what that does, and I know that there's a lot of questions about stop losses within this community and every community that we talk to. We don't have any stop losses built in. However, you could feel free to manually intervene and stop yourself if you want to. But tightening this spread is lessening the amount of dollars that you have at risk. And like Dylan mentioned, moving the delta down gives us a higher probability of profit. Now, we do have take profit criteria, and that take profit criteria will take profit for you on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday. So if your position is at a 60% profit on Monday, the bot will take profit. If it's at 70% profit on Tuesday, bot will take profit. If it's at 80% on Wednesday or Thursday, bot will take profit. And then the bot will just roll the position on a Friday. There are take profits. Again, we don't have the stop losses built in because the risk is extremely minimized by tightening the spread. And we kind of want to let the positions play out. Now, taking profit, if we're in profitable positions, we want to take that money and run, take our risk off the table. However, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen this many times where I'll get into a position on Friday looking for that weekend theta decay, and the ticker just doesn't move in my favor over the weekend. But by the time Friday rolls around, we've recovered. So I'm at least entering that trade with the mentality of, all right, here's the width of my spread. This is the most that I could lose, and I'm prepared to do that. I'm going to let this thing play out. And that's kind of my mentality. You absolutely can manually intervene at any time and take your stop loss wherever you're comfortable. And then the bot will just pick up from square one by the time Friday rolls around.
Yeah. And Arlissa, by the way, feel free, if there's questions or comments at any point, feel free to just shut us up. I do have a few more thoughts I'd like to share. I think Ben did a fantastic job breaking down the update there. Now, on screen is the trend spread watch list. Okay, so this is going to be located within your PeakBot account, app.peakbot.com. That's after you sign up using Arlissa's code E2T at the link below. So a couple things to look at here. All right. So first of all, this data is from Friday. So this is not, data will be refreshed Tuesday morning when the market opens. Now, a couple things to note. This watch list, if you're not familiar, updates every 5 minutes with new market data. Okay. So this refresh button when the market's open is your best friend. And you're going to see things move around. Right now, we're not going to see anything move around because it's data from Friday, but you can track up here when it was last updated. Okay. So we'll click into the trend spread watch list. A few things to note. We're going to see this is the entire watch list right here. So there may be 20 to 30 underlying on here to trade, whereas that watch list previously was, again, 150, 175, sometimes even 200 different opportunities. What we did here was we trimmed out anything with an expected value, okay, and you can see all the definitions up here. Estimated average outcome of a series of trades if they were repeated many times. It represents the average profit or loss you can expect on each based on the probabilities and potential outcomes from the current trade setup. So anyway, the point is we're looking for a positive EV, but a negative EV, not financial advice, doesn't always mean it's a terrible setup. Okay, right. So that's why you'll see some negative ones on here. But what we did do was eliminate anything with an expected value under -2%. At that point, when we've run our back test, when we've taken the trades, we've seen that we're not having enough success. So we wanted to trim the fat. You're not going to see something. You'll see negative EVs in here, but you're not going to see anything under -0.2. Okay. I'm sorry, -2%. Now, this is all red because it's reporting earnings here soon, okay, on the 28th. If everything's highlighted red, it's reporting earnings, all right? Now, a few other things to note. Ben mentioned this earlier. Your budget is defined. Here's the 50-cent spreads, all right? So we know if we wanted to get on Las Vegas Sands this week on an iron condor, we're going to earn $10. We're only risking 40, and we're trying to stay between 38.5 and 41.5. All your strikes are here. Everything you would want to manually place this trade is here, but you have a bot doing it for you, and you can manually intervene anytime. All right, so that's how you can sort it. You can click on budget. We don't have any $5 or $10 minimum spreads on here right now. Costco's not on here. What's a $5 example? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
SPX is $5.
Right. So SPX not going to be on here right now, but it could be. It's just not getting through the scanner that we have set up for this strategy. All right. So the max loss you're going to find on here is going to be $230. And that's on a 7-day trade that you're collecting $21 in premium on. Okay. There's other ways you can sort this. If we want to find the best expected value, we can do that. If we want to see the highest probability of profit, highest ROI, okay, all of this is available here for us. Buffer is the amount of breathing room we have between the current stock price and the sold strike. Okay, so these 4 columns here, EV, pop, ROI, and buffer, is what we consider the core 4. Okay, and we are going to be making some updates to this data as well, transparently. But right now, what we're looking for, and if you see a green box, is an EV above 1, probability of profit above 77. If it's below 77, it shouldn't even really be on the list. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. Yeah, you're not going to see a probability of profit, aka your win rate.
Not
right
anymore.
now, that's the lowest you're going to see. Again, on paper, statistically speaking. ROI, we're looking above 8, okay? And then buffer above 3, yeah. So if you see 4 green lights here, all that's telling you is it's not financial advice, and the PeakBot team likes it. That's what that is. But you may learn to like it too. And of course, there's a process here. Like if Next Era Energy is on here and we really like it, or there's a lot of the core 4 ones are condors right now. But Tesla, this is a very high example. But let's just say we were bullish on Tesla, trying to stay over 320 by next Friday. The next step here is, I love pulling up TradingView, looking at my charts, mapping it out. If I come up on Tesla here and I see enough daily bars over 320 and a few other indicators, I might say, let's take a look at this. This is a very rough drawing here, but we've been above 320 for the last 6 or 7 trading days. Maybe it's not crazy. There's a few other things I can do here before I'm confident in activating that, knowing the bot's got take profits built in, my probability of profits there. I know what I'm collecting in premium, and I know what my risk defined, I know what my max loss is. So I think one other very important thing, or a few other things to say, is if you see very high here, this is risk. Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. It's compared to other opportunities on the list.
That's right.
Okay, so we're not telling you what you might think is very risky. We're just saying compared to what else is coming through the scanner and meeting qualifications, right now, there's not a lot of low risk opportunity in the way that we've presented it. Okay. So you'll come in and find your sweet spot here. Another thing to mention, you'll notice PeakBot has a model portfolio for different size accounts. Peekbot.com/model port. It's a free deliverable. We're going to make some updates now that TrendSpread has updates, but this is only for a very small percentage of an overall portfolio. Where people get in trouble is when they come in here and put all their cash in one strategy or all their cash in one stock on one strategy. Look, not financial advice, but the golden rule is diversification here, okay? TrendSpread is among our higher risk strategies because you got to be a good stock picker. We can help you as much as you want, but the market's going to try to fight you and other things too. So that's why we limited the watch list. That's why we raised our odds. and that's why we defined our risk even further. So it's a great strategy. Ben and I typically, and our team typically, find 2 or 3 trades a week that we've been doing publicly to take. And Arlissa, we didn't say this, but you were trading this style manually. You were like, look, I'm finding the 30 delta a little too dicey. I'm grabbing the next one down, which was often closer to that 22 delta, and you're only taking the dollar spread if that's what it's going to be. Rather than the $3 spread for a similar amount in premium. So you were the inspiration behind this. So I'm going to shut up for a minute. Arlissa, what are your thoughts, questions, anything?
Yeah, we were definitely already doing this. So when I saw the email that said you had made this change, I was like, have they been listening in on my conversations? What are they doing over there?
Yeah.
You said we have been. That's what we were doing. We were basically, we were looking at we were listening. I mean, we were doing these same stocks. Basically, I was taking the lower risk ones, and I guess we could take you off. We were doing the lower risk ones, and I was looking at the delta of, about 25-ish, 25 or below, basically, is what we were doing. And I was only going with the next strike away because the width of it was just getting big. And we were manually doing it. I have a take profit set for us, which is about 20% of like we keep 80% of the money and buy back for like 20%. And then we had like a 2x for our stop losses. So that's how we've been managing it. And many times it works out okay. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's really what we've been dealing with. But now, even with what you've set up, is we can allow PeakBot to even enter the trades for us, because that's another thing is if PeakBot could enter based on the algorithm and based on what the algorithm sees as a good time to enter. See, that for me is the entry time was whenever I would be watching the different stocks and say, now is a good time. Well, of course, I'm not an algorithm, but sometimes I feel like I'm one though.
You are your own algorithm.
Well, I'll tell you, looking at the results, Arlissa, part of the reason we finally had decided to do this, and look, we always make updates to bots. If you're working with any automated trading provider and they're not updating their strategies to meet market conditions, like find another bot provider. Come to PeakBot.
Right.
But the point is, we had almost no choice other than to make this update after seeing your weekly results of the 16 to 19 ones you'd pick off the watch list, and you're winning 85%, 90%. Maybe I'm crazy, but it certainly seemed that high. And then when you tell us, hey, look, I'm taking a handful of those actual trades because that's what I feel. Because look, there's still a dance to do here. It's tough. If you're going to enter this trade around noon, I want to look at the watch list at like 11:30. Looking at, unless you're macro so sure about the trend and confident in the bot, and you're looking at this from a lens of 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, which nobody does. I wish retail traders would zoom out a little bit, but we know that that's hard to do.
It's week to week.
Yeah. So we're going week to week here. Midweek trend reversals are still not your friend, but if you feel good about it, you use the watch list, you chart it out, and you use automation to help you take profit along the way and get in.
Yeah.
We're trying to give you the best odds. That's all.
That's the deal. And that's what we were doing. Basically, I'm looking at the why, and I tell everybody when I put together the list I put together the list on the weekend. But before you enter these trades, definitely look at the chart again. Make sure you still agree with these numbers, you still agree with these strikes, and take the strikes based on what you see then, not based on what I wrote on Sunday morning, because that was based on the previous week's information. So Cool. I'm excited about this. I hope that excitement is conveyed, because I know this is going to be cool for me, because I still want to be able to trade, other stocks and do credit spreads during the week. And if the bot can help with the entries, I can put on, because after that I can put on the an OCO for the take profit or the stop loss. I can do that part as an OCO, but looking at, several stocks across the board and entering them all at the right time is the difficulty piece. So if I can let the bot do that for me and let it automate that piece, and maybe use, $1,000, $1,500 and go across the board for 5 or 6 different stocks, this is perfect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Arlissa, there's going to be further iterations to this. In another 6 months, we might say, hey, the market's come down. We can go and grab a little more premium because we feel, it's a total liquid situation. We never know. But right now, we'd rather play a little more defense than offense, get that win rate higher, understand that this is for a concentrated amount of your portfolio. And look, we know you're an SPX queen and you crushed that. And believe me, if anybody's sitting here watching, these PeakBot and E2T awfully friendly. Where's the bot? We're gonna get there. We'll get. But believe me, we're working behind the scenes on something. But we want to get it right. This is a tricky market. Automation. Most bots out there suck, and we don't want to fall into that category. So we take our time.
Well, because the market is so right now. It is, oh my goodness. There's even if you're watching so closely, you could be watching like the other day. It was Wednesday and I was literally watching closely. I decided to move from one spot to the other. And when I got from one place and walked to another spot, a couple of streets over, the market had tanked in just that walk. I was like, I'm just walking 2 streets over. What happened? Why I was moving from one spot to the next. It was Wednesday. The market just dropped off the map. Like, did somebody start talking? What happened? And nobody.
Like 40 minutes, not even. It tanked. It was insane. Believe me, Ben and I have scar tissue from that as well.
Yes.
So, Arlissa, want to know if there's any other questions that we can answer for you and or your community of listeners here.
I don't think we have any more. I didn't see any questions pop up in the chat. So you all did a wonderful job. And thank you so much for giving us some time on your Sunday evening. I know we're on a holiday weekend and that new baby. Oh, I got to see pictures. You got to send pictures of the baby.
I'll get you pictures.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And we know the market is closed tomorrow. But if you're entering, basically what Ben and Dylan said was that we're going to take some time in our community and my community, and we'll look for some stocks. And if anybody wants to do PeakBot, we'll set up some stuff, and then it'll enter on Tuesday, so that way you can let the week. I got so many people who are really who are working jobs or just got regular lives like I do, and they want to be able to utilize the credit spreads, but the difference with the wide and not knowing how much budget you were going to have was definitely going to make a difference. Wes says, how does PeakBot not close trades if they go negative? So they don't close the trades, Mr. West, Mr. Mac. They don't close them, but we have the ability. Mr. Mac's one of my members. We have the ability to put on our close orders. They do have the profit taking side, so if it goes positive, that does close. Mr. Mac's wondering how come you don't have the stop loss side of it.
We just assume the entire loss is going to be the width of the spread. And of course, you could obviously hop in and change that and stop out for yourself. I stop out sometimes. I know Dylan does. This is a blend of man and machine here, right? This isn't just, you could just let the bots run. They're designed to let them run, but you could obviously step in. We didn't want to be on the hook for deciding, hey, when is that time to stop out, right?
People don't have questions on take profits. You see people tend to cluster and agree that, 60% on Monday is fine. But then you go and decide that their 200% stop loss on Tuesday is no good. And they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So
because on Wednesday it goes the other way. And they're like, you should have left it alone. It would have been fine.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, the whole thing. We don't want to deal with that. Watch your positions. Like, this is not a fully... Look, this is automated trading, but it's not fully autonomous. As Ben mentioned, there is human intervention here. Know what you're doing. And last plug, if you have questions, ask us. Like, we pride ourselves on being available. There's a customer support chat available 7 days a week. You can schedule time on our calendar. We got a phone number. We're here. Ask us questions.
You know what? I don't know if many people know this, but Dylan is actually in our Telegram chat.
Yeah, I'm there.
Dylan's actually there, so he doesn't ever.
I try to stay above water. I try. It's tough. There's a lot of good.
He's there.
Yes.
Yeah. So if anybody needs Dylan, he can be asked right in there. What's up, man?
I was going to say the real last plug, Dylan. I know you said that was the last plug, but the real last plug is, if you do want to try PeakBot out, make sure you use code E2T, all caps, or you can use the link below, peakbot.com/E2T. But if you're checking out, make sure the code is applied. It's going to get you 50% off your first payment. That's code E2T. Make sure you check it out. And like Dylan said, we're here. We're available. You can schedule a one-on-one setup time with us. All that info will be available to you after you subscribe. So get started.
All righty, guys. I'm so glad y'all came and joined us. And I appreciate you for hanging out with me. And I'll let y'all get back to your families and we'll continue with our show.
Yes.
right.
Well, thank you so much, Arlissa. Happy Memorial Day weekend to
All right.
everybody, and best of luck.
All right. See y'all
Thanks,
later.
everybody.
Bye-bye, guys. All right, folks. Well, it's back to me, just me. I hope everybody enjoyed that. If you got questions, in the membership, we'll definitely talk more about it if we got more questions. But I'm definitely going to utilize it even the more because I want us to be able to use credit spreads on other stocks and the width of that spread, those spreads being uncontrolled. Because like one time I did an IWM and it wasn't that long ago. And my IWM, sometimes it would be $300 or $400 on this spread. But there was one time it entered and it was $800. And it so happened that I had $800 available, but shoot, I wasn't planning for it to use $800. All right. So now we know that if it's a one spread stock, then that's what it's going to do. It's going to just do the one spread. If it's a 2.5, it's going to do 2.5. It's going to do, just the next strike. If it's a 5 spread, it's going to do that. So I think that's wonderful. And then we can do our own sales, can put in our stop loss, and you can let the bot do the take profit piece, and you can put in your own stop loss if you want. I think this is phenomenal. Again, I'm excited about it, and I hope if y'all got the link there if you want to use it. And if we got more questions, y'all know we can walk through it in the community and ask more questions. Or if you want to send me a message, if you're not in my community but want to ask some more questions about it, you definitely can send me a message or whatever, and we can talk through it. But as they said, they're quite approachable, and they mean what they say. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what happened last week and where we are this week, what's coming up, all the good things that we got going on for this week, last week, all this stuff. Let me get my orientation set up here. There we go. Y'all hang out with me for a little while. We'll get through all the stuff in a timely manner. The VIX is now, or was, it's closed, I guess, the other day, 22.29. So we're a little above 20 again. So y'all know how that goes. VIX up a little bit. It was at 24, I think, on Friday. So it's down a little bit from there, but it danced around taste. We got some news, unsustainable fiscal situation. The bond market flashes some warning signs. Surging treasury yields signal deepening market fears as Trump tax plan, soaring deficits, and global fiscal turmoil rattle investors. I think that little bill that was passing I think the bill may have passed that shut down a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of government aid that we need, that definitely caused a bit of an uproar. So listen, if there never was a time for prayer, there's a time for prayer. Okay. If you don't pray, you might need to start. If you do pray, let's add to it. All right. The Fed Chair Powell urges U.S. university students to protect democracy. Yes, I do agree with that. NVIDIA has earnings coming up this week. I'm going to talk earnings here in a minute. And Trump tariffs take center stage in the week ahead. Well, let's talk about what meetings we have coming up this week. So Powell is speaking today. And I was wondering, somebody in our community mentioned that he was speaking today. And I was wondering where he was speaking. At the Princeton University baccalaureate ceremony. Oh, wow. Princeton invited him to speak at their graduation. Look at that. Okay. I'm sure he just gave a nice little speech, but that's probably why he was urging them to protect democracy was at his speech. And that was good. He accepted that invitation. Wonderful. So Monday, the market is closed, as we can see. Tuesday, we've got FOMC member Cash Kari but that's 4 a.m. though. 8:30, we've got some core durable goods orders. These are orange folders. HPI at 9 a.m. Consumer confidence at 10. FOMC member Williams will speak at 8 p.m. and then Waller at 10 p.m. That's after the market is closed. On Wednesday morning, 4 a.m., something like that must be something going on someplace else. At 10 in the morning, Richmond Manufacturing Index, FOMC meeting minutes, ding, 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 2 o'clock on Wednesday is going to be, and I guess usually this is where we hear something about some interest rates. Usually this, when it says FOMC meeting minutes, that's Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So that will be something we will definitely be anticipating. Thursday morning at 8:30, we've got preliminary GDP, the gross domestic product. That's important, of course. Quarter over quarter. Unemployment claims, 8:30 in the morning on Thursday as well. 10 o'clock, pending home sales, natural gas storage, 10:30. Goolsby will speak at 10:40. Crude oil inventories at 11. FOMC member Kugler at 2 o'clock. Daily at 4. And Logan at 8:25. Friday, we've got core PCE price index at 8:30 in the morning. Some other things are happening at 8:30. Chicago PMI at 9:45. University of Michigan at 10. FOMC member Bostic will speak at 12 on Friday. And then at 7:30, Goolsby will speak. So the biggest thing we have going this week is FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And we've got the preliminary gross domestic product on Thursday morning. Okay, those are happening Wednesday and Thursday. Those are happening. Let's go on to earnings before I look at the charts. Cassandra, I'm not sure what your question is. You got to write the rest of it. You said, what is the M? And then you stop. So write the question out so I can see what you're asking me. Here's the earnings for this week. Looks like Chung, I'm not sure why this is so fuzzy looking, but I'll see what I can see. It doesn't seem like it's real clear. Hasai and Joy are both on Monday. These are, looks like they're all like Asian companies, probably because they don't have the holiday. We do, which is why they're reporting on Monday. Looks like Panduo Duo is Tuesday. Champion Tuesday morning. Scotiabank, AutoZone. Some of these I can't clearly see. Sea Energy, BioLink. I'm not sure who that is down here. I need to change it. Okta, Box, Agora, Simtech, Grupo, Super VL, Heiko, SQM, and Grupo Gasilda. I think that's Gasilda. Gaceria maybe is all Tuesday after close. I'm getting to the ones that are definitely going to be anticipated. Y'all know where I'm going. Dix is Wednesday morning. Abercrombie and Fitch. Looks like Kingsoft Cloud, Macy's, VNet, CMCO, Frisia, Capri, BMO, and Eagle Point. What's the minimum amount needed for PeakBot? I don't think there's a minimum amount. It's really going to be as long as your account. I mean, if your account, they use Schwab, they use Tradier, and they use Tasty Trades. So as long as your account is already open and you're able to do spreads, PeakBot doesn't have a minimum. Except for, you have to have at least the amount in your account that's available for you to do the spread that you've selected. That's the only minimum that you need. All right. Wednesday after close, though, ding, ding, ding. Janae, you listening? NVIDIA is going to have earnings on Wednesday after the close. NVIDIA is going to have earnings. Yep. Wednesday after close. I'm sure that is going to be highly anticipated. Salesforce is also that day. C3 AI. We haven't heard from them in so long. ELF is Wednesday after close. Nutanix. I'm not sure who this is even. Or that, oh my goodness, Viva, Pure Storage, Synopsys. I can just refresh this and probably will get clear, but that means I'll have to watch this refresh. Who wants to do that? Foot Locker is Thursday morning. Best Buy, Solaris, Burlington, Futu, Kohl's, Hormel, Roy Vance, and Lee. I'm not sure who this is down here at the bottom. Marvell, Costco. This is all Thursday after close. Costco is probably anticipated. Dale. Elastic, Zscaler, Ulta, another one that usually is anticipated. Gap, American Eagle, Ambarella, UiPath. And Friday morning, we got Canopy Growth, and Shoe Carnival, UP FinTech, Yatra, and I think this is Cresco Labs is who that is. All right. All right. That is what you're welcome, Cassandra. Those are the earnings that are coming up this week. I'm sure NVIDIA is the one that folks are looking for. What are we looking for? We're looking for NVIDIA, Best Buy, Costco, Ulta. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so looking here. What did we do last week? Our trades list, this is kind of what Dylan and Ben were mentioning last week. We do this list every single week. And I do use the watch list from PeakBot, and I would grab these stocks off of the low risk area is where I would get these stocks from. And then I would come up with come up with the strikes myself. They had strikes on theirs, but I would come up with strikes myself, and I would just go with the one, strike away like we were just talking about. That's how I would do this. But last week we had a 73% win rate, 8 of the 11. IBM was a partial breach. It actually finished at like 258 and some change or whatever. IWM got breached on the put credit spread, and SPY was breached on the put credit spread. Everything else was profitable. We traded Amazon. I feel like we traded Amazon. Yep, we traded Amazon. We traded CDX. I believe we traded UPS. I had IWM and had to close my IWM. I closed it for a break even. Honestly, we actually closed Amazon once because it was breaching, and then I re-entered Amazon and then closed it for a profit. So by the time Amazon was all over, I probably was at a break even. But y'all know I was traveling last week, and so I was kind of doing all the things, watching all the places and the parks. But listen, we still pulled it out last week. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We still pulled it out last week. I'm going to skip past this. I will swing back to this. But this was my results from the Caribbean last week. I was in Mexico. Anybody ever been to Playa del Carmen? That's why we didn't have our usual morning calls that I do our lives. That's why I didn't do those last week, because I was on vacaciones. I don't know if that's the word for vacation. Is that the word? Anybody who speaks Spanish? Is vacaciones the word for vacation? Oh, Tanya says yes. There we go. You've been there, or yes, that's the word for vacation. I need that to be the word. But yes, I was there in Playa del Carmen. It was quite enjoyable. I love the fact that it was so walkable. If you've never been to Playa del Carmen, you fly into Cancun, and then I had a driver service. And if you need the driver service, please let me know. Reach out to me. I'll give you the service. They were so professional, picked us up at the airport, and drove us to Playa del Carmen. Oh yeah, Tanya, okay. And drove us to Playa del Carmen, and took us to our Airbnb, which I was right there near Fifth Avenue. If you've been to Playa del Carmen, you know what I'm talking about. I was right there near Fifth Avenue, near the beach, and we could walk everywhere we wanted to go. And I'm telling you, I did so much walking, and I actually think I got a sunburn because I got ready to put some shea butter on my face, and my face started burning. I was like, wait, no, I think I had gotten a sunburn. I meant to take my my visor with me, but I kept saying I was going to get it when I was packing, and then I forgot and left it. So I ended up getting a sunburn. I believe I got my face was hot. So anyway, I was trading while I was there. And these were my results for the week. And Wednesday was a day I was just talking about with Dylan, where I moved from one spot to the other. And while I was walking to the next place, the market fell all apart and my trade went with it. And then I did not follow my rule. My rule is that if the price touches the short leg of my spread, then I will close it. And I didn't do that on Wednesday because I was, hoping it would come back. There's a hopes in air quotes, hoping it would come back up like it did on Tuesday, and it didn't. And so I got bit hard. Y'all see that negative 37.20? Your girl was not happy about that because negative 37.20 was uncomfortable. But I've been doing videos this week, and I hope you all have been watching those videos where I've been doing recap videos. Have y'all been watching them? If you've been watching my recap videos, put a yes in the comments, please. Because I'm doing the recap videos for the trades. Don't be having me on YouTube putting stuff up here and y'all don't watch. All right, come on, watch. So I did a recap video, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm gonna be very transparent here. Y'all want me to be transparent? Be very transparent. It is difficult to do a video when you have lost. Okay, Tanya said, I felt that 3.7K loss for you. Yes, it was very uncomfortable. You're like, I don't want to do a video to talk about me losing that much money. I did not want to do the video, but I felt like it was going to be beneficial to me and it was going to be beneficial to y'all. So I did it because it made me think about what I had done as far as my trading day went. It made me think about, I'm looking up here because I'm getting ready to put it on the screen. It made me think about what did I do in the trading and what could I have done different and what rules did I need to refresh in my mind? What rules did I need to remind myself of so that I could not have the same thing happen again? Okay, because that's really what it came down to was, and these are rules that I know the rules I'm supposed to have. I have rules. I write them down. I help coach you all to make sure that you have things that you write down, that you have trading plans for yourselves. Selena said a loss is hard to discuss, especially when it's something you planned for and didn't follow. Ain't that the truth? I'm putting that note there. A loss is hard to discuss, especially when it's something you planned for and didn't follow. Listen, this is why we write trading plans for ourselves when the market is not open. So when the market is open, you got something to follow. Hello. So I didn't follow those rules. My rule says I'm going to close when my short leg is breached and then I will reposition. I was like, oh no, it's gonna come out. It fell some more, and then if I had known what I didn't do to follow on, I didn't go see why it fell. I didn't even go looking for the research as to figure out why it had fallen, because if I had done one more step of research, I would have realized it probably wasn't coming back, right? Because that whole bond thing let you know that the market people was not happy. It was like, oh, it wasn't coming back the day. It wasn't coming back that day. And I would have really been like, this not going to recover today. Anyway, that's what happened. A hard head make a what? So I've been doing my recap video. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was I took a loss today. Y'all see the topic there? I took a loss today, right? And then Thursday was my bounce back video. I didn't do a video on Friday. I was profitable on Friday, but I was flying Friday. I flew from like 12:45, which was like 1:45 East Coast time, but I didn't get home until after 11. By the time I got, well, it was after 10. By the time I got to the airport, got my stuff, and it was after 11 by the time I left the airport. So I didn't do no recap video on Friday, right? But I'll do these each day because I think they're helpful to me. It's helpful to me too because it makes me think about when I'm taking trades during the day. It makes me think about can I talk about this trade later? I'm thinking about when I'm taking the trade, when I'm just getting ready to discuss this trade later on today, is there explanation for this trade? And if this trade is just, I'm getting in it because I feel like it, then that's not a trade that needs to be taken. So it's making me, think about on the front side, why am I taking this trade? And then, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get me. All right. So y'all make sure you keep watching the recap videos. I want to make sure that we're, I want to provide content that is useful content for my community. All right. There we are with that. All righty. Let me see. Where were we? Let's go. I want to be there. Add back to the stage. We're going to go look at what the market did last week. Let's look at the weekly chart here. So this is a weekly chart. So for the week, we had a red, we had a down week last week. This would be called, for those who are stratters, we got any stratters who know about the 1, 2, and 3s? Can y'all see that? I'll turn on the strat number so you can see. I get asked all the time, what are the strats, the numbers? This is a 3 week. It's an outside week. It means it's outside on the top and the bottom. It went higher than the previous week. It went lower than the previous week. It's a 3 candle. Basically, it's a mother candle. So we'll see which way it goes going from here. This was the weekly though. Now looking at time frame continuity, it shows that the time frame continuity shows going downward. That doesn't mean it's going, just it says that's what time frame continuity shows. Okay. Let's go to the daily chart. We're looking at the daily chart here. We've got, this was Monday the 19th. We had a green day, but you can see we went up. Basically, you got your leg in, your base, and your leg out if you're looking at that, or you got your evening star. We went in 3, 1, and then reversal. This is definitely a reversal pattern here, that inside candle here. And then once it went downwards, going in the other direction for people who are buyers or, sellers that are looking for reversals. Once this next candle on Wednesday got below the candle of the previous day, the candle of Tuesday, that was an indication that you're most likely still going down some more. And those who don't know about the strat, I do have a video on my channel. I think it's called the strat for sellers, but you can talk you can use the video to just talk about the strat, what the numbers mean and stuff. It says the strat for sellers, but it really could be for anybody who talks about what do these 1s, 2s, and 3s mean. You can go take a check, look for it on my channel. Speaking of which, now that I'm talking about that, be sure to like and subscribe and do the thumb up and the bell, all the good things you're supposed to do. I'm not done, but I wanted to go ahead and hit that while I'm thinking about it. Y'all like this video and all those good things, go ahead and do that. Okay. So this was last week. Basically, this is why we had a red week last week, or a down week, because you saw that we basically had a leg in base and a leg out. We got a gap that still remains to be filled. There was a gap created from May the 9th through May the 12th, and that, over that weekend, and that gap still hasn't been filled, but SPX is kind of coming back down. Seems like it wants to come back and get it. Okay. That's what's going on with that. All righty. I'm not going to do any charting there. Here we go. So for this coming week, I did pull these off of the watch list from PeakBot. We've got some put credit spreads and some call credit spreads. You'll notice that there's several things that are on both lists, and that's because there were several things that showed up on the neutral list. Neutral being it's not bullish or bearish. It's kind of riding in the middle. So you get the opportunity to decide whether you want to trade it as a bullish, or trade it as a bearish, or trade it as neutral. So last week I put some stuff, I selected some stocks, and I don't know what be going on there. I picked some stocks. I picked IWM is something that always trades in my account. I believe I picked Procter & Gamble is one of the ones that I'm trading. Y'all see anything else of interest on this list? What else y'all like on this list? I like the Apple. What else y'all like on here? Anything else that catches your attention on this list? I'm letting y'all take a look. The list changes. The watch list on PeakBot changes every single day, every 5 minutes. That list is updating. I'm putting in the comments the ones that I'm trading that entered, and by the market closed by the time my plane landed, so I couldn't even signal these to my community, because I had some other ones I wanted to signal to the community before, and some of them populated as we were taking off, and I was trying to get them in real fast, but we got up higher, too high into the clouds for us to still connect to the network. Okay, so Denise says Las Vegas Sands, and Selena says Baba. We got some good ones on here. I listen, the PeakBot thing, if you are somebody who is working during the day or is trading a different strategy, like for us, we're trading SPX exclusively in my community at this point, and to watch other things is taking, mental energy away, and people got jobs and other things. To utilize the PeakBot and to utilize the trend spread bot and let the bot enter these trades for you, and then you manage it from there. At least the bot is entering at the algorithm's perfect time. That for me is key. That for me is key, that the bot's going to enter at the perfect time, and then we just can manage it from there. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I like Next Era Energy as well, is another one I think is a good one that's on the list. So yeah. All right, let me see what else do I have here. We went there already. Okay, let me talk about this, right? The membership. I have had the membership was open. I closed it a month or so ago and closed it down. I mean, I closed it. I didn't let new people come in because I was trying to make sure that the new cohort of people move through together. While I was on vacation, I met with the person who I talked to about that kind of stuff. She lives in Playa, actually, and we talked about it. I really want us to continue to focus our energies on SPX and XSP. So now we're really letting the people who want to do SPX at the 5 spread, there you go, and those who want to do a smaller budget on XSP, we're focusing our energy just on those two stocks, right? So I've opened the membership up for those who want to come in at the $97 price point. If you want to come in at $97, you can still come in at $97 just through the end of this month. Just through the end of this month. At the end of this month, which is May, at the end of May, the price is switching. We're switching over to a higher price point, and everything is going to change. So basically, at this point, we've got one more week as things are right now, and I'm looking over here because I'm looking to change that bottom runner. I don't see where the runner is that I'm looking for down here. So I can change that. Ooh, sound like it's getting ready to rain on your head outside. It's making thundering noises. I don't see it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. What are we doing? I'm pushing buttons faster than it's actually responding. There we go. So, focusing on SPX and XSP, right? Making sure that we are profitable and focused on just looking at one thing, the charting, the supportive things that go along with that. I know if we do, I want to also get to where we can reduce our screen time as much as possible and still be profitable, because that's one of the selling points that I like to have for the seller strategy, is that we don't need as much screen time. All right. But we still want daily profits, right? When I was just showing y'all that you can pull in 1,500 and If you watch me on social media, you would have seen that I made a post this morning about how much money it takes to pull in the profits that I was sharing in here. What kind of money does it take each day to pull in these profits? Right. And it fluctuates depending on the day, depending on, if we do iron condors or if we just run straight, it fluctuates. But consistent 20-25% returns are totally possible each day, where you rinse and repeat the money. Of course, nothing is ever everything. All the results are not the same for everybody, and none of this stuff is financial advice or all the things I'm supposed to say. Right? Everybody is different, because we can take the exact same trade and two people can have completely different results. Right? That's just the way the market goes. But we're focusing our energy there. I'm focusing my attention on making sure the people who are with me are getting what they need. And the people who are with me, we're focusing our energy there. So because of that, I'm narrowing, we're honing in on some stuff. Right? Which means I'm focused. We're focused. We're all going to get what we need out of this, so that way we can move forward. If you're going to join us right? Come on over and join us in the membership. Everything, all the training and everything that you need is over there and available to you. Of course, I'm there. And one of the things I said in my message today, was my post today, was I promise you that it's going to be different than any group you've ever been in a good way. It's amazing to me, and I say it's amazing to me, but it's amazing to me how many people come into my membership and they want to hold me to the standards, or they want to hold me to the mismanagement that other people have done, the way other people have mishandled them. And of course, I'm not going to take responsibility for how somebody else mistreated you. And what you're not going to do is hold me to the way somebody else mistreated you. I have people who come into, they ain't even in the membership good, and they come in talking about what's your win rate, or what, you ain't even done a thing. You haven't looked at a thing. You haven't seen a trade. You haven't taken a trade. And the first thing out of your mouth is starting to ask me all the questions to disqualify what we do here. You ain't seen nothing. Nothing. And I try to be as patient as I can be. But sir and ma'am, please, I for all the people before me who mishandled you and mishandled your funds, please let me apologize for them, but I will not be held hostage to how somebody else mistreated you. Okay, I know, and I get it, because I've been in other places as well. Not too many, because I've purposely not gone to a lot of places, because I've had my own membership for a while. We've done this. I've done my own group and my own membership for years. And so I've not been in a lot of other discords and other places, but I have seen some. All right. And I've heard the horror stories. But please don't try to hold me to how somebody else mishandled you for a whole lot more money. Okay. Denise said, that's what I have. Fear of the last class. Fear from the last course I took. I know it's not your fault. I get it. And though I understand it, Denise, I try to be as patient with people as possible, because I know it's out there. I know it's happening, but I'm not them. All right. So I'm going to give you as much as I can. I do remember to try to give as much grace as I can give. I really do. And anybody who knows me, y'all know I give all the grace I can give. But sometimes the folks be asking for a lot. I'm like, okay, Lord Jesus, help. I know it's just because they've been damaged by somebody else. I do give grace. I try to give all the grace I can, because I get asked all the questions on the front side, and I answer as many as I can answer. But just know, I promise I won't treat you like the last people. I'm going to give you what I can give you. That's a reasonable request. All right. So if you want to come over and join us, that's where we are. We're over here in the membership. It's $97 a month. You sign up for it. You can quit whenever you like. And I have no insight or touch. And you don't have to ask me, can you stop? Can you, unsubscribe? You just can go unsubscribe. All right. You can just unsubscribe. So it's you're free to come in and you're free to go. It's all good. I'm not called to everybody, and I realize that, but I want to help as many people as I can. And it's bad that we've got some people in this space who are taking advantage of folks who really just want to learn. But I really am just here to teach. All right. So to the end of this month is $97. After the end of this month, the price will go up to $147. That is not a threat. It is what is going to happen. Sometimes we closing it and it's going up. No, it is going up. All right. Because I know the value of what is being given. I know the value and the money that it costs to join my membership. You literally can make that money in one trade. Literally can make it in one trade. So I know this, but it's where we are. Okay. So the membership has daily access. We got group trading, SPX and XSP training and trading. We got group trading, hands-on trading sessions. So you got the selling strategy with credit spreads, SPX, XSP. You got one-on-one session per quarter, and you've got a private Telegram group with access to me. I've gone into groups where I never saw the coach. Okay. Never, not once, on not one video, got to ask the coach not one question, not one. And that's not my group. All right. I'm not saying that's going to be my group forever. At this point, though, I'm available to the people who trade with us. All right. That's the way it is. So this is what you're going to get as you trade with us. We're going to focus on SPX and XSP. So that way I'm focused, you're focused, we're focused, and we're going to get this money. We're going to stay green and we're going to get this money. All right. If you want to do it by yourself, which you can, this is a $27 product, the SPX playbook that you can really run this in the afternoons by yourself. And there's a Telegram group that goes along with the SPX playbook. That goes along with this resource. It's a DIY kind of thing. It's a playbook. You can definitely grab that. And if you just need some direction as to what to do next, what some people do, they're like, I got the pieces and the parts, but I'm not sure what to do next or which direction to go next. Then we can do a one-on-one coaching. Okay. What medium is a Telegram done on? It's the Telegram. Telegram is a platform. So just like Discord is a platform and Facebook is a platform, and others, Telegram is a platform. All right. So we have I have a Telegram chat and I have a Telegram trades channel. So the trades are all put in a separate channel and the Telegram chat is put in a different place. But Telegram is a place, just like you got Mighty Networks and you got Discord. Telegram is another place. All right. One-on-one coaching. You can find all of this stuff over at my website, educator2trader.com. You can go over there and get signed up for whichever. Again, just through the end of this month is a $97 price point for the membership. All righty. I think that was the last. Yep, that was the last one. So the market is closed tomorrow. The market is closed. You're welcome, Marianne. The market is closed tomorrow. All right. It's going to be the holiday. Did any of y'all barbecue today already? Who cooked some barbecue or who went to someplace and ate barbecue? Some folks didn't cook none. They went and bought some, or they went and someplace and ate some, which that works for me. That works for me. Even though I did cook some, they was harassing me over here because I said I was going to grill. And then this morning I forgot that I said I was going to grill, even though I had prepped all the stuff. So then they started giving me a hard time, but I went and then, I did do the cooking, but my husband came back and forth with me and started giving me a hard time. And my son is here. So they was harassing me because my son was like, do you even know how to grill? Are you trying me? Do not come for me, sir, unless I call you. So anyway, Shanna said we cooked. Yes, Shauna said we cooked. I cooked too. Then my son's girlfriend was like, did you make any sides? No, I made the meat. We had sides. We had potato salad from Walmart. We had coleslaw from Publix. Oh, my husband did make some baked beans. We had baked beans. And I had some macaroni and cheese from a previous holiday that was in the freezer that I took out and rewarmed, and we had that. So yes, we had sides. Didn't you see that how he was trying me? Talk about, can you grill? You come and get on it. Talk about, can you? The people. It's the people. It be your own people. It be your own people. Ribs, mac and cheese, corn, Polish sausage, hot dogs, baked beans. Shauna, y'all was cooking. I see. Iola said, I'm looking for some barbecue. You need to go find you a spot. Go on over and find you a spot that has some barbecue, mashed potato. Y'all was, Shauna, you did all that cooking or somebody else did? Corn. It's your birthday. Woo! Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, Shauna. Happy birthday. I missed y'all. Okay, so I think I've done all that I was going to do in here, right? I think I've covered everything I was going to cover. I got to go see if my community are we meeting today or are we meeting well, it looks like we're meeting on Monday. When I looked at our little thing, it looks like we're meeting tomorrow evening. All right. So if you're in my community, Selena said, DoorDash me a plate. If you're in my community, we're going to meet tomorrow evening. I actually got some homework I want to give y'all I want to look at some VWAP stuff for SPX for the week. I've got some thoughts and ideas for VWAP using the quarterly VWAP or the monthly VWAP for some subsequent. So y'all look for some messages from me, and we will get together tomorrow evening and we'll do our charting and stuff then, getting ready for Tuesday Merton. Okay. Okay. All righty, everybody. I want you all to have a really great evening. Have a really good time. Again, I missed y'all. I'm so glad y'all came. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me and Dylan and Ben. Y'all think about PeakBot. And if you've got questions about PeakBot, be sure to ask me those questions. And let's take time between today and tomorrow to look at the watch list and get yourself signed up with them. They do have, again, you can use my code and get 50% off as you're starting. I think they're either $19 or $29 a month is their price. I'm not sure which one, but go ahead and look at that, peekbot.com/E2T. And but let's talk about if you got some questions. And then Tuesday, it'll let you, it's gonna enter you in your trades. And I'm excited about it, as y'all can tell. All right. So I want you again. Let's stay green. Let's get this money. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the things. Join that membership if you're trying to do that. You got one more week to do that if you want. All righty. Y'all come on. Come on. All righty, everybody. I will talk to you later. I will see you in the market. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.